Shri Patanjali Yoga Sutra Part 4 Shlok number 11th Hetu Falashreya Lambanai Sangrahitva Desham Bhave Tadbhava being held together by cause, effect, support and objects in the absence of these is its absence. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Desires are held together by cause and effect. If a desire has been raised, it doesn't die without producing its effect. Then again, the mind stuff is the great storehouse, the support of all past desires reduced to sanskara form, until they have worked themselves out. They will not die. Moreover, so long as the senses receive the external objects, fresh desires will arise if it be possible to get rid of the cause, effect, support, and objects of desire, then alone it will vanish. 4. Shlok number 12. Atita nagatam swarupoto astaya dva bhedad dharma ram. The past and future exist in their own nature, qualities having different ways. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. The idea is that existence never comes out of non existence. The past and future, though not existing in a manifested form, yet exist in a fine form. Part 4, Shlok number 13. De Vyakt Sukshma Gunatmanaha. They are manifested or fine, being of the nature of the gunas. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. The gunas are the three substances, sattva, rajas, and tamas, whose gross state is the sensible universe. Past and future arise from the different modes of manifestation of these gunas. Part 4, Shlok number 14. Parinamai Katvadva Tut Tatpam. The unity in things is from the unity in changes. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Though there are three substances, their changes being coordinated, all objects have their unity. Part 4, Shlok number 15. Vastu Samye Chit Bhedat Yovir Vibhaktaha Panthaha. Since perception and desire vary with regard to the same object, mind and object are of different nature. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. That is, there is an objective world independent of our minds. This is a refutation of Buddhistic idealism. Since different people look at the same thing differently, it cannot be a mere imagination of any particular individual. Shlok number 16. Na chak chitta tantram vastu tat pramanakam tada kim swata. The object cannot be said to be dependent on the perception of a single mind. For if this were the case, the object could be said to be non-existent when that single mind did not perceive it. Part 4, Shlok number 17. Tad upraga pekshitva chittasya vastu gyata gyatam. Things are known or unknown to the mind, being dependent on the coloring which they give to the mind. Shlok number 18. Sada gyata chitta vrittayah tat prabho purushasya aparinam mitvat. The states of the mind are always known because the Lord of the mind, the Purusha, is unchangeable. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. The whole gist of this theory is that the universe is both mental and material. Both of these are in a continuous state of flux. What is this book? It is a combination of molecules in constant change. One lot is going out and another coming in. It is a whirlpool, but what makes the unity? What makes it the same book? The changes are rhythmical in harmonious order. They are sending impressions to my mind, and these pieced together make a continuous picture. Although the parts are continuously changing, mind itself is continuously changing. The mind and the body are like two layers in the same substance, moving at different rates of speed relatively, one being slower and the other quicker. We can distinguish between the two motions. For instance, a train is in motion and a carriage is moving alongside it. It is possible to find the motion of both these to a certain extent, but still something else is necessary. Motion can only be perceived when there is something else which is not moving. But when two or three things are relatively moving, we first perceive the motion of the faster one and then that of the slower ones. How is the mind to perceive? It is also in a flux. Therefore, another thing is necessary which moves more slowly. Then you must get to something in which the motion is still slower, and so on. And you will find no end. Therefore, logic compels you to stop somewhere. You must complete the series by knowing something which never changes. Behind this never ending chain of motion is the Purusha, the changeless, the colorless, the pure. All these impressions are merely reflected upon it, as a magic lantern throws images upon a screen without in any way tarnishing it. Part 4th, Shlok number 19. Na tat svabhasam drishyatvat. The mind is not self-luminous, being an object. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Tremendous power is manifested everywhere in nature, but it is not self-luminous, not essentially intelligent. The Purusha alone is self-luminous and gives its light to everything. It is the power of the Purusha that is percolating through all matter and force. Part 4th, Shlok number 20. एक समय चोभयान avdharanam. From its being unable to cognize both at the same time. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. If the mind were self-luminous, it would be able to cognize itself and its objects at the same time, which it cannot. When it cognizes the object, it cannot reflect on itself. Therefore, the Purusha is self-luminous and the mind is not. Fourth, Shlok number 21. Chittant Drishya Buddhi Buddhirati Prasanga Smriti Shankarascha. Another cognizing mind being assumed, there will be no end to such assumptions, and confusion of memory will be the result. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Let us suppose there is another mind which cognizes the ordinary mind, then there will have to be still another to cognize the former, and so there will be no end to it. It will result in confusion of memory. There will be no storehouse of memory. Shlok number 22. Chitter prati Sankramaya tada kara pattau swabuddhi samvedanam. The essence of knowledge, the Purusha, being unchangeable, when the mind takes its form, it becomes conscious. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Patanjali says this is to make it more clear that knowledge is not a quality of the Purusha. When the mind comes near the Purusha, it is reflected, as it were, upon the mind, and the mind, for the time being, becomes knowing the same and seems as if it were itself the Purusha. Part 4, Shlok number 23rd. Drishta drishyo paraktam chittam sarvartham. Colored by the seer and the seen, the mind is able to understand everything. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. On one side of the mind, the external world, the seen, is being reflected, and on the other, the seer is being reflected. Thus comes the power of all knowledge to the mind. Part 4, Shlok number 24. Tat sankhye pasana abhi chitram api parartham sanhatya kari twat. The mind, though variegated by innumerable desires, acts for another, the Purusha, because it acts in combination. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. The mind is a compound of various things, and therefore it cannot work for itself. Everything that is a combination in this world has some object for that combination, some third thing for which this combination is going on. So this combination of the mind is for the Purusha. Part 4, Shlok number 25th. Vishesh darshan atma bhav bhavana vinivritti. For the discriminating, the perception of the mind as Atma ceases. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Through discrimination, the yogi knows that the Purusha is not mind. Shlok number 26. Tada viveka nimnam kaivalya prag bharam chittam. Then bent on discriminating, the mind attains the previous state of kaivalya, isolation. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Thus the practice of yoga leads to discriminating power, to clearness of vision. The veil drops from the eyes and we see things as they are. We find that nature is a compound and is showing the panorama of for the Purusha, who is the witness. The nature is not the Lord. That all the combinations of nature are simply for the sake of showing these phenomena to the Purusha, the enthroned king within. When discrimination comes by long practice, fear ceases and the mind attains isolation. Fourth, Shlok number 27. Tachidreshu pratyaya antarani sanskarebhya. The thoughts that arise as obstructions to that are from impressions. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. All the various ideas that arise, making us believe that we require something external to make us happy, are obstructions to that perfection. The Purusha is happiness and blessedness by its own nature, but that knowledge is covered over by past impressions. These impressions have to work themselves out. Fourth, Shlok number 28. Han mesham klesh vaduktam. Their destruction is in the same manner as of ignorance, egoism, etc., as said before. Shlok number 29. Prasankhyaane apya kusidasya sarvatha vivekyater dharma megah samadhihi. Even when arriving at the right discriminating knowledge of the essences, he who gives up the fruits unto him comes as the result of perfect discrimination, the samadhi called the cloud of virtue. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. When the yogi has attained to this discrimination, all the powers mentioned in the last chapter come to him, but the true yogi rejects them all. Unto him comes a peculiar knowledge, a particular light called the Dharma Megha. the cloud of virtue. All the great prophets of the world whom history has recorded had this. They had found the whole foundation of knowledge within themselves. Truth to them had become real. Peace and calmness and perfect purity became their own nature after they had given up the vanities of parts. Shloka number 30. Tatya klesh karma nivritti. From that comes cessation of pain and works. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. When that cloud of virtue has come, then no more is there fear of falling. Nothing can drag the yogi down. No more will there be evils for him. No more pains. Shloka number 31. Tada sarva varanmala petasya jnanasya anantya ye mapalpam. The knowledge bereft of covering and impurities becoming infinite, the knowable becomes small. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Knowledge itself is there, its covering is gone. One of the Buddhistic scriptures defines that is meant by the Buddha, which is the name of a state, as infinite knowledge, infinite as the sky. Jesus attained to that and became the Christ. All of you will attain to that state. Knowledge becoming infinite, the knowable becomes small. The whole universe, with all its objects of knowledge, becomes as nothing before the Purusha. The ordinary man thinks himself very small, because to him the knowable seems to be infinite. Shloka number 32. Tatya kritharthanam parinam kram samaptir gunanam. Then are finished the successive transformations of the qualities, they having attained the end. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Then all these various transformations of the qualities which change from species to species cease forever. Shloka number 33. Shan prati yogi parinam parant nirgraha kramaha. The changes that exist in relation to moments and which are perceived at the other end, at the end of a series, are succession. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Patanjali here defines the word succession, the changes that exist in relation to moments. While I think many moments pass and with each moment there is a change of idea, but I only perceive these changes at the end of a series. This is called succession. But for the mind that has realized omnipresence, there is no succession. Everything has become present for it. To it, the present alone exists. The past and future are lost. Time stands controlled. All knowledge is there in 1 second. Everything is known like a flash. Part 4, Shloka number 34. Purusharth shunyanam gunanam prati prasvaha केवल्यम स्वरूप प्रतिष्ठा वा चिति शक्ति रीति इति पतंजलि विरचिते योग सूत्रे चतुर्थ कैवल्य पादः इति श्री पतंजल योग सूत्राणि. The resolution in the inverse order of the qualities bereft of any motive of action for the Purusha is Kevalya, or it is establishment of the power of knowledge in its own nature. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Nature's task is done. This unselfish task which our sweet nurse nature had imposed upon herself, she gently took the self-forgetting soul by the hand, as it were, and showed him all the experiences in the universe, all manifestations bringing him higher and higher through various bodies, till his lost glory came back, and he remembered his own nature. Then the kind mother went back the same way she came for others who also have lost their way in the trackless desert of life. And thus is she working without beginning and without end, and thus through pleasure and pain, through good and evil, the infinite river of souls is flowing into the ocean of perfection of self realization. Glory unto those who have realized their own nature. May their blessing be on us all. Hari Om Tat Sat.